Hello, I'm Taylor Tedder, City Manager for Boulder City, and welcome to the latest episode of Tedder Talks, a once-a-month look at issues and people impacting Boulder City. Two major events happen every autumn in Boulder City's beautiful Bicentennial Park. Wurst Festival is Saturday, September 30th, and Art in the Park is Saturday and Sunday, October 7th and 8th. Both are critical fundraisers for excellent causes. Joining me today from Sunrise Rotary is Doug Shetman to discuss Wurst Festival, and Wendy Adams from the Boulder City Hospital Foundation to discuss Art in the Park. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Let's start with Wurst Festival. Can you tell me how it started?
Wurst Festival started back in 1996, and Rotary was looking for a different way of creating more fundraising efforts in the town. We used to do 2 or 3 different fundraising. We wanted to go to one because it didn't burn everybody out at that time. So I visited a club down in Lake Arrowhead, California, and they ran a similar type of thing, mostly online on television. And I took the ideas from that and started the Wurst Fest auction and the event here in town.
How do the proceeds benefit Boulder City, and why is it so important to Sunrise Rotary?
It's our primary and only fundraiser essentially for Sunrise Rotary. How it benefits, there's 2 things that we do predominantly from the proceeds. One, we have hosted the senior all-night party for a number of years now for graduating seniors who are graduating from high school. We capture them for the evening, return them to their parents early in the morning, the following morning, keep them safe, and it's really meant to prevent them from having any alcohol, drug issues throughout the night. Previous to our involvement, sometimes they would go out to the desert and have a kegger and then drive afterwards. And there was a couple of very close incidences that occurred as a result of that. So we started the all-night party, and that's been very successful. Our second one, though, that we've gotten involved in since 2015 was Judge Miller's Breaking the Cycle program. We donated some money to help initiate that program, and we continue to support it. It's a great program for young people in our community that are struggling for drug and alcohol problems.
So Doug, when is Wurst Festival, and can we expect anything new this year?
Wurst Festival is always the last Saturday in September. This year it's September 30th. I like to look at Wurst Festival and Art in the Park as kind of combining one after another. To me, it's a great community event. Wendy will share that with you, I'm sure. Brings people together. We've had a long, hot summer. Brings people out of the house, reconnect with their neighbors and friends, spend the day at the park. What's new this year? 2 things. We're expanding the antique area this year. We had 15 vendors last year. We'll have probably 40 this year. We've eliminated the silent auction, and I know that's going to be difficult for some people. So it really goes from like 10 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. The live auction is the biggest fundraiser aspect of it. That'll go from 3:30 to 6, and then from 6 to 8, we have music in the park that people can just sit around and enjoy their neighbors and enjoy the evening.
That live auction is really exciting, and my first year here when I had just arrived, I think that was when I was asked to be a guest auctioneer. Right. And the energy of the crowd is fun. It's contagious.
Yeah, it really is. And I look at both events as being kind of a community celebration, like you alluded to, because it gives everybody a chance to showcase Boulder City. A lot of the restaurants are extremely busy downtown during that period of time. Back to back, I think it's the greatest time of year. Anyway, in the fall, the temperatures are cooling, nights are nice, great time to see everybody out.
So if someone wants to get involved, volunteering, donating things for the auction, how would they go about that?
As far as donating things to the auction, they can contact me either at my office, or I'm around town enough that they can get a hold of me usually. As far as volunteering, contact anybody associated with Sunrise Rotary, including yourself. And if they're interested in volunteering, we will always welcome volunteers.
So Wendy, thank you so much for being here and also talking with us today. So let's pivot to Art in the Park. Can you tell me a little bit about how that came to be?
Well, we are now in our 59th year. So back when Hoover Dam began, the government opened up a small hospital site for its workers and their families to be treated. And quickly in 1950, the government stopped funding the hospital that they had for the workers. So the community, we call them the Women's Auxiliary, they created a grassroots campaign to save the hospital. And so they went around and started the Art in the Park. The first one was held at Ralph and Sarah Denton's house, mostly in their backyard, although one of their artists, James Wiggerton, he would not allow any of his art to be shown outside, so they had to clear out their living room and showcase his art inside. So that's how it all began, and 59 years later, here we are celebrating it still.
So how do the proceeds benefit Boulder City? What does it enable the hospital to do?
So the proceeds, each artist, pays to get a space within the park, and the proceeds go to benefit the Boulder City Hospital. Many may not know that Boulder City Hospital is a nonprofit organization. The funds that we raise are crucial to being able to fund their capital improvement projects.
When is Art in the Park, and can we expect anything new this year?
Yeah, October 7th and 8th is Art in the Park, and it's always right after Worst Festival, so it's that first full weekend of October. And something new to look forward to this year is a car show, but not one that you would typically think of being an old car show. We're allowing the automotive dealerships from over the hill to come join us, and they're going to be showcasing their new cars.
How many people have signed up for Art in the Park, and how does that compare to years past?
This year we have a record number, 350 vendors, plus we're still getting applications on the daily basis.
Wow.
So we are at maximum capacity, but I always find ways to find a place on the grass to put somebody's booth.
So if someone wants to get involved with Art in the Park, how can they do that, and who should they contact?
The way people can get involved at Art in the Park is through volunteering. They can access a volunteer application by visiting artinthepark.org, or they can call my office and get more information.
And I know, the public will probably be wondering, is, the street above the park going to be open? And it will. So that was one of the main points that the city had when we were approached about the reconstruction project of the lawn for the Bureau of Reclamation was we have two major events, and those can't be interfered with. So
That's great to hear, really,
Yeah.
because that is a main area where a lot of people park for both events, and stuff. So that's great news.
I'm looking forward to great times at both events. Thank you both so much for your time today.
Thank you for allowing us to come in and promote our events. Wendy and we've been doing this for a long time, so I really appreciate the opportunity.
And thank you.
Be sure to check out Tedder Talks once a month at bcnv.org/Tedder. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next month for the next Tedder Talks.